Dealing with bulge bracket legacy banks sucks, and that's why companies like SoFi are continuing to take market share. Despite this, stock price has not kept up. Let's talk about it. Hey, I'm Andreas. I've been investing for over 10 years, and in today's video, we're going to talk a bit about the story behind the revenue numbers of SoFi. So I recently had an experience with one of the legacy banks. I won't name and shame, but I had the errand of having to move some stocks from a portfolio to an internet broker, moving away from the legacy bank. Once again, I'm not in the US. If I had, perhaps I would have moved it to SoFi. But the process was extremely annoying, and I'm sure many of you have had similar experiences. With that in mind, it's not hard to imagine how SoFi might continue to take market share. First of all, a call into the support line of this company, because you can't do it via email or an app. I get to a representative who walks me through some steps that are needed for me to be able to transfer my stocks away from them as a bank. It starts with verification of my identity. This is being done via secure Proton mail. I get a request to send a picture of my passport, and so I do. Then, a few days later, I get the actual forms that are needed to be filled to make this move to completion. Very bureaucratic language, extremely difficult to understand. I talk a bit with my private banker at the internet broker, and he tells me, Andreas, if you don't understand this, have this legacy bank contact us at this email address, and we can talk to them for you and get this thing moving. So I reply on the request for forms via secure Proton mail. I have to do two-step verification to get into it. And then I write the information that I get from my banker. Alright, here's some info on me. Please contact this bank at this email address and start this process. Some days go by, I don't hear anything, and I get another secure Proton mail. So this is to my Gmail inbox. I have to click on it, I have to get in, and just to find out that we don't answer these. We don't take information via email. You have to call a representative. I try to call, it's on President's Day, so there's no senior broker there. I have to try on another day, and it really drags on. As I'm recording this video, I still haven't completed the transfer, but hopefully I just call this broker on Friday in 2 days, and I tell him, alright, this is my bank, contact him here and get this process done. Now, all of this is very, very legacy. It's not hard to understand how a company with a streamlined application where you can do banking errands with the click of a button. You can buy stocks easily. You have your savings account. You can have your mortgage in there. And you don't have to deal with a whole lot of bureaucracy and talking to other people just to get basic finance banking errands done. It's not hard to imagine how a company that would streamline this whole ordeal has such amazing growth that SoFi in this case have, because they're beating on earnings, they are beating on revenue. Despite that, analysts are not really upgrading them, and they keep having very, very low growth targets for a company that don't have to open an office in, for example, Delaware to be able to service that location, because they have an app. They can just blitz scale across the United States, do it very, very easily, do some sort of state regulation, regulatory compliance, then expand into that state without having to open an office. So is it so hard to believe that such a company will continue to grow and continue to take market share? Because despite these strong numbers, as you can see on screen, only up about 6% year to date. And that's not very strong compared to, for example, other fintech companies like Robinhood, who have seen great stock performance. SoFi has simply not kept up despite the company doing well. And I see this as an opportunity to buy more shares at lower prices. And we can't really compare apples to apples here if we look at Robinhood, because they do the crypto trading thing, and that's a large part of their revenue. They make a lot of money just in pure profit from the fees of crypto trading. And for better or worse, SoFi is not part of this. SoFi has a bank, on the other hand, so you have some differences here in how you want to bet, how you want to invest your capital, what type of business you want to support growth in. But in my opinion, I think that the stock price right now for SoFi is still undervalued. It's still not keeping up with performance. I said this some time ago. Stock is up by quite a lot since then, but in my opinion, it's just not keeping up with the growth of the business. And I believe that one of the reasons for this perhaps could be that the analysts that are setting targets, in many cases they are legacy banks themselves, or they are some sort of variation of that derivative, and they have friends that work in banks that SoFi is eating for lunch, and why would they hype up a competitor in that case? So keeping a lid on expectations. We see them putting low growth expectations out there. SoFi is continuously able to beat these, but eventually in the long term the stock market is not a voting machine, it's a weighing machine, and the weight that will be measured is the revenue and the earnings and all of these basic financial measures of a company's health. Alright, that's been it for this video, talking a bit about the story behind the revenue for SoFi. And as always, hope you guys make a ton of money, whatever investments you decide to make. Take care now. Bye bye.